Okay, so I just wanted to welcome everybody to today's presentation. Just a couple of housekeeping items before we start. If you could just keep yourselves on mute as the presentation is going on, then feel free to unmute yourself and ask Gabriela any questions that you have. And if you feel more comfortable using the text chat, you can do that also, and I'll monitor and relay any questions that she might have. So I just wanted to welcome Gabriela Casineanu, sorry, but and I'm just going to do a brief introduction for Gabriela. So bear with me here for 1 second. So Gabriela is a professional coach, award-winning author, and university instructor. Her career started in engineering and IT. After an MBA and a career shift in coaching, she added entrepreneurship, coaching teams and organizations, employment and career counseling, adult training, and writing. In 2020, Gabriela founded the Introverts Academy to help more introverted professionals and entrepreneurs become happier and more successful, also to lead organizational and systematic change. She brings a coaching and holistic perspective to everything she does. What she loves the most: to create mind shifts and increase awareness, openness, and motivation so people are willing to grasp the strategy she shares or they find elsewhere, and take inspired action. And then I'll put her website and information just in the chat here. So I wanted to welcome you, Gabriela.
Thank you so much for inviting me to this webinar. And thank you so much to the participants who are here today. I like to invite you, if you want to share in the chat, some of you already started, what services and products do you offer in your business? Because it gives me an idea how I can customize the presentation, and also for how long are you in business, if you're using workshops or not. So we can get an idea what you already know, and maybe I can come up with new strategies and tips for you if you're more experienced. So I let you share in the chat. And I want to share a few logistics before we start. Let me share the screen for the presentation so you can see what I'm talking about. So today we'll talk about connecting the dots, what to do before, during, and after a workshop to ensure your business grows. If you have any questions, any comments, please use the chat section. Write the comments there, your questions. I come back to the questions toward the end. I have a bonus for you. And today I'll talk about how many hats do we wear in a business, why workshops and webinars are good for your business. I want to present you the bigger picture, how this fits into building a business, and also what to do before, during, and after the workshop. I have a lot of information on the slides. So what I want to do actually, not to go very much into details, because we can share the presentation if you're interested in. I shared with Lori the link where you can download the presentations in the PDF. I want you to focus more on the strategies I'm sharing, because the details are in the presentation. Like Maurice said, I have a lot of experience in education. This is a formal way that people expect us usually to present ourselves. I'm an award-winning author, founder of Introverts Academy and Immigrant Writers Association. And I won some awards with my books. But what I want actually to show is this image with the two triangles or pyramids. The one on the left, my expertise, is what I offer, what I bring to what I do. The one on the right side is the impact I want to make. So I work at 4 levels: individual, interpersonal, group level, organizational, and at systemic level. And I bring expertise for each of these. And with Introverts Academy, we're offering courses, coaching, resources, webinars for individuals, for example, to help introverts understand better their strengths and how to leverage them better. Interpersonal level, introverts and extroverts understand each other because they have complementary innate strengths. And they can communicate better when they know more about each other. they can collaborate and build better organizations. At the group level organizations, I work with teams to create the environment that nurture both introverts and extroverts and allow them to participate more. And the systemic level, I'm looking to build a better world by leveraging the complementary strengths of introverts and extroverts and finding the gaps that we can focus on to build a better world. So let's talk about how many hats do we wear in our business. So if you imagine your business like this, most of you, I didn't have the chance to look at the chat. Let me do it right now. Some people are longer in business, do use workshops. Okay, not too many people responded. So we are starting as entrepreneurs. We have an idea, we have a vision. That's the hats we wear. We're also managing all the operations, everything we do in our business, or we hire people and we manage what they do in the different departments. We also need to think about the marketing side, the financial side, and I put a hat for technicians, the person who really does everything, is the interaction with client, the customer service, maybe producing products, offering the services. So there are different hats, different perspectives that we have to look at our business, and they are all connected. So what we want to do in our business is to project the right image, to build the trust that we need to attract clients and grow our business. And there are also constraints from the environment we're living in, especially in the pandemic time. But in general, there are a lot of things that are putting pressure on our business. So the question I have for you is, do you work in your business, doing all the little tasks, or you work on your business? Because with this webinar, I want to come from the perspective how we can work on your business to help it with webinars and workshops. And I have a bonus for you. If you're in that phase where you start your business or you're shifting from one direction to another, I will share something with you at the end. If you can put in the chat, what do you think your small business needs right now? Just give me some answers there, and yeah, some answers with a lot of heads, only one head. I totally agree. Someone needs systems. What else do you need? Stop, space. Someone has a VA. Get more high-pay keynotes and workshops. Okay. When I share this question in groups of entrepreneurs and business owners, I hear also, I need money, I need clients. I think we need much more than what we already mentioned. We need a clear vision for our business, because that will inspire what we do with our business. That's the entrepreneurial side who has to keep an eye on where we're going, because we want to move towards the vision. We need more visibility. We need to gain people trust. We need to get repeat customers. They are happy, they come back. We need to promote. We need new ideas, feedback, better relationships with the clients. We need to improve our business image. Testimonials from clients to build credibility, increase traffic on the website, build a successful mindset, connecting, networking. So there are a lot of things that we need for the business. And what I shared here, if you look at that cube, as the activities, the visible activities that other people see, they don't see everything that we're doing in our business. They see, maybe if we communicate the business vision, they will see that we have a vision. They will see if you're doing workshops, presentations, our products or services, if we talk about them, our activity on social media, the marketing activities that we're doing. So that's from their perspective what they see. So if you want to be more successful, we need to project a better image through all these activities that we're doing. So now I'm going to what to do before, during, and after the workshop. And for before the workshop, we start with a planning phase, which is a brainstorming. What you see here, it's a mind map. If you, when I start talking about it, if you're not familiar with mind maps, you can create this using, I put on the right corner, there are softwares, online platforms that you can use for free. For example, simplemind.eu, Canva, Lucidchart, to create this kind of mind maps. Because what I like to do when I brainstorm, I put at the beginning in a circle what I really want to brainstorm about. For example, what do I need to do by that date? What do I need to do for my business? And then I start brainstorming. What do I really want for my business and for my clients? Kind of the bigger picture. Based on that, what objective can I, an intention can I set for visibility, sales, email list? And that will inspire me, these two thoughts, these two questions will inspire me what kind of workshops I can create. And for the workshop, I have to think about what title, what content do I put there? Do I want to create a poll? Do I want to, or more polls to understand better the audience? Do I want to give away freebies? Do I want to go with a draw? Do I need a sign-up form? What methods do I want to use to deliver that workshop or webinar? I need to prepare the power slides if I'm using a PowerPoint presentation and also verify the equipment. I need to prepare an evaluation form in advance to have it, and handouts if I want to give away. I want to think if I want to do just one workshop or I want to do a series of workshops. And I highly encourage you to think about the series of workshops, and you'll see from what I share in the next slides why it's important to have a series of workshops. Even if they are not very often, but it's important because people who are coming to your workshop, they might want to know more. So while you are here with them, you can share, hey, I have another workshop next month, join me for the next one. So you already start marketing the next one while you're doing this when you have people in front of you. You also need to create the promotional materials like flyers, images. Think about where you want to send those materials to promote them, promote strategies, website, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, in your newsletter, with existing clients, target interested people, or ask people, hey, do you know where I can find my ideal clients so I can share those materials? I like to create Eventbrite listings for my webinars, and also to send reminders, because people might forget. They might want to register, they might forget, or they register and they forget to show up. So it's good to send reminders. If you're doing a workshop in person, you might think to have a product table where you have information about the product, services, the prices, the products themselves, promo materials for your business, for the upcoming workshops. It's good to have the business cards if people want to connect with you, a banner, and also sign up sheet for the next webinars or workshops that you do. You also need to think about what payment options do I give my potential customers. Do you want to go through a peer review? So you put together a workshop based on what you thought, and invite a few people to deliver the workshops. They can give you feedback to improve it before you go toward your ideal clients. Think about the next workshops, what they could be on that topic, schedule them, include them in the promotion of this webinar as well. I'll give you an example right after this slide. If you want to do a survey, you can do a survey even before the workshop. Hey, I'm doing this workshop or webinar. What are you interested in about this topic? What are your challenges? So when you get that information, you can customize the webinar or the workshop to be more specific to the audience you're looking for. You also, there are different options to do webinars and workshops. You either organize them yourself. I organize a lot of workshops for the Introverts Academy, for example, and webinars. Or you can do one like the ones that I'm doing now with Paro. You can partner with an organization to deliver a workshop, and there are benefits for that because they already have an audience you're just showing up with your presentation and you get more visibility for your products and services to their audience. But you also need to discuss with them in advance, what are the responsibilities on each side? What are you allowed to do? What you're not allowed? For example, I ask permission if I can share a bonus, a free bonus with you. Some organizations don't allow you to promote you. They just want you to come for a presentation. So you have to have these discussions in advance. Ask yourself if you need other materials than the one you already thought of. If you need any help during the presentation. Sometimes, for example, it's too much to do and you might want to have, like someone said, a VP or someone to assist you to share the links in the chat, for example, or in a Zoom meeting to look for the questions in the chat section. So it's good to have some help. You also can think if you can have a plan B or C if something doesn't go well. And after you put all this, also you have to think about how to prioritize all these actions, because it seems a lot. How we can, what activities can go in parallel? What activities need kind of a sequential? I can do these activities only after I do this. For example, I can create the promotional material after I decide the title and the content. So you need to create a time-bound schedule. And also ask yourself the question, is there anything else I miss? Even I might miss something. When you ask that question, you kind of open up to see maybe there is something else that I need. So this is more based on my experience, but feel free to customize whatever you need for your own business. So let me give you an example, because I talked about why doing workshops can help your business grow, even if you're an introverted person or never thought before. I am an introvert, and when I started doing workshops, it was in 2007. I wanted to do that because I wanted to share the strategies that I learned and used for a while, and I knew that they could be useful. So I had a drive, reasons that pushed me into doing it. Even from an introvert perspective, I was not comfortable talking to people in person or online. But doing that, I became better and better at doing these workshops and webinars. And also, I want to show you with the examples how you can choose a topic which helps both attendees and your business. For Introverts Academy, our mission is to raise awareness about the introvert strengths and how to tap into their impressive inner power for personal, professional, organizational, and systemic development to build a better world for all of us. So it's kind of a broad mission. So what I do, I design the curriculum for this Introverts Academy in a holistic approach. So there are different aspects of the curriculum for individuals, and this year I will focus also on the curriculum for organizations. And when I started, I wanted to raise awareness about this Introverts Academy. So I started with a series of workshops, of webinars called Introvert Tools for Navigating Challenging Situations. So I started with my vision, with my curriculum, and I thought, what the clients need to know? They need to know more about our holistic approach, and also kind of introductory webinars about each topics where we go more in details later. So I created this series of workshops, and I start delivering them one by one, and I have them all on Eventbrite. And what I noticed, after I did the first one, people register for the second or the third or the other topics they were interested in. So in time, I've got more and more people, even from other countries like Bangladesh and UK and US. So when you are online, you have this exposure, and Eventbrite helps you with that. So doing one after another and presenting this webinar in a way that it's part of a bigger picture that can help the client, you know that it will help your business, but open their mind that the next webinars can help them even more. So this is how you can build attendance to different webinars when you create a series. So if I come back to what I said earlier, do I check all this if I'm doing a series of workshops like this, like clear vision, more visibility, gain people trust, repeat customers, promotion. I've got a lot of new ideas and feedback and testimonials. I improve the relationship with the people I serve. So there are a lot of things that happened just by doing these workshops. And what I like about it from an introvert perspective, I don't need to push the sales because I do presentations that provide value to the clients. And if they like it, they go on our website or our learning platform and they see what we have there and they can buy our products and services. So I think this could be a strategy that you can incorporate in your business. And keep in mind that you can start at your do it at your own pace, because there are many things that you have on the place already, but some of them might be helped with this. So, for example, you don't have to do so much promotion, paid promotion, when you're doing this that doesn't cost you anything to do it. So that's about what we're doing with the Introverts Academy. The phase two for before the workshop is to prioritize. So you have all that mind map with all the ideas that you came up with that you have to do, you want to do. So now put them in a schedule. What can I do today? What can I do in a week? What do I need to do 2 weeks from now? So it will give you a better idea on the timeline how you can start prioritizing this. And the third phase, while you're still in before the workshop, is to create a mind map for the specific phase. So from that big picture that you created at the beginning of what you need to do, you start drawing out what do I need to do before, during, and after the workshop. So you'll see a lot of similarities for the before mind map with what I shared before, because in that big picture, there are a lot of things we need to do before we even start the workshop. But I'm going here a little bit in more details. For example, what you can put in the evaluation form, what to include in the PowerPoint. If you want a sign up form, maybe if you do a draw, you need a draw box. So you can, if you need a freebie, if you want to give away a freebie, maybe you want to create a sign up form so you can share the link while you're still here with them so they can go check the freebie right away. So there are a lot of things that you take from that big picture and you put in the before mind map. And also, after you do it, you go back to your town schedule and update it, because there might be things that you want to add or remove or move around. What to do before, during the meeting, during the webinar or workshop? Start with the logistics. I think we forgot to ask permission if you allow us to take a picture, a screenshot. It's good for promotion. You can share on social media, I did this workshop, here's the feedback. So you can ask permission, you can talk about questions, chat the comments and all that stuff. You also can start with a list of expectations. Ask what do you expect from this workshop and webinars, and create a list and verify at the end if you checked all those boxes. I will do this when I go through the chat comments. You deliver the content, but also you focus on participants' needs and reactions. And when you do it in person, it's easier. When it's online and people don't show their video, it's not so easy. But you still can get feedback if you encourage them to participate. You ask questions, you invite them to answer a question in the chat. And you see the reaction of the people, and you can understand how you can adjust the webinar and workshop to be more valuable for the clients. Focus on providing valuable content, because people like to see that you're there for them, not only to promote your business, because they can go on your website and find information, but they are there for much more, to connect with you, to get some information, maybe some feedback, answer to their question, and read the emotional field and adjust to what's happening. When I talk about the emotional field, I'm talking if you can feel what's happening. For example, I noticed that some of you added some comments here. It means that these people at least are participating, are engaged with what we're doing. If you see nothing is happening, you can ask a question, invite them to share something. So you can bring that interaction into the webinar or the presentation, because more they participate, more they will get out of the webinar. So it's not just for yourself, but it's also good for them. You also, if you're doing a workshop in person, mention the product table and what you have there. Share the link during the presentation about the freebies, if you have the URL where they can download or where they can go to get the freebies. If you did a survey before the webinar or presentation, you can share the answers. You can answer the questions, and if there are questions that you don't know, you can put them in a so-called parking lot, and you can go back to them later. You can have your business cards handy if it's a workshop, because some people might come to you and they want to follow up with you, so have them ready. Handouts, if you prepare them. You also need to self-manage your time. I keep looking at my time to see how much time I have left, because sometimes we are so eager to share something or to interact with people that we go over the time, and this doesn't project a good image. They might think that we don't respect their time. They allocated a certain amount of time for our workshop or webinar, so it's good to be mindful of that. Talk about the next workshops and products that you have that could help them. It's not only a promotion, but it's also for them to understand you have more. So it's our duty as business owners to talk about our products, not just allow them to discover us, because they might not. Ask for the evaluation to send you feedback. If you have I know Lori has a survey at the end of the presentation. If you can give us feedback, evaluate, it helps us as business owners to understand what was worked well, what didn't, what else we can do. And if you can get paid help or volunteer, they can help you with time management, distribute evaluations, collect business cards from the draw, product table. So there are all these things that you can do besides just the content that you have to deliver. That's why I was saying that it's a lot to do, that it's good to prepare in advance, at least if you can have someone to help you. Plan B, and let's move on to the mind map for the after workshop. So you did a workshop or the webinar. Your work doesn't end there. First of all, congratulate yourself that you did something. You're one step further than where you were before you started. Doesn't matter how it went. There are a lot of learning opportunities even in what we consider a failure, or things that we don't like how they end up being. But we need to stop and congratulate ourselves for the time and effort we put into it, and the fact that we push ourselves to go into that challenge. Then we look at evaluations. What they like, what they didn't like, questions, comments, suggestions. So this will give us an idea what we can improve, but also if you want to do the same workshop later on, what we can do differently. Incorporate the feedback in the next workshop in your business. In person, if it was an in-person event and you collect it via sign-up sheet, add this to your newsletter list. I hope you have a newsletter. If not, you might be thinking to start one. In the newsletter, the next newsletter includes testimonials from this one, talk about the next workshops. I notice more workshops I do, more people are signing up for the newsletter, for the next webinars, for the social media updates. So it's something that you start doing and people are coming instead of you trying to reach out each of them. It's kind of leveraging better your time. If you want, you can send thank you cards to the organizers if you work with an organization. Prepare for the next workshop and adjust the mind maps that you use for this workshop to see if you can do it better next time and if there's something to adjust for the next webinars. Create new workshops based on the topics suggested. Create new products or services based on this workshop. For example, after I'm doing this workshop, I will record again the presentation, and I will create a mini course that I can put on our learning platform for the Introverts Academy. So I put a lot of effort into creating this PowerPoint and putting together this presentation. Why not benefiting long term from this? Follow up with the participants. What, based on the feedback, maybe you want to follow up on some topics. Think about what worked well, ways for improvement for participant and for your business. So you need to think about those hats that we talked about at the beginning, how we can adjust with this feedback loop, how we can adjust our business to do better in the future. You can connect with the people who gave you contact information on the business cards. You can promote the next workshops. You do the social media updates. You update your website with testimonials and news and what happens. And ask for opportunities to speak. Ask the participants, even during the workshop, I should put that in the workshop. Do you not know someone else or other organizations who might benefit from this workshop? So there are a lot of things that you can do after the workshop as well to continue this process. Let me stop here and take some questions.
Yeah, so if anybody has any questions, they can unmute themselves at this time and you can ask Gabriela. If not, and you want to use a text chat, you can do that, and I'll look for questions in the text chat. There were some comments in the text chat about, using your phone's app for a timer. And then just making sure that you ask people to add you to your newsletter.
So is this just a comment or a question?
Yeah, those were just two comments that were in there.
They're very good comments.
Yeah.
Hi, may I ask a question?
Yes, Chantal.
So you've given us great ideas, and one is that I can use Canva to make mind maps, which is fabulous. And I'd like to know, rough order, how long it takes you or took you to create that whole series of workshops that you're giving, because I just try to get an idea of the scale of time it takes to create a series of workshops.
Great idea. First of all, I want you to put in perspective the benefits of creating that series and the time commitment. Because if you think that the benefits could be greater than the time you put in, the time, it's not an issue anymore, because the time you can expand it as much as you can. For example, you can say, I want to create a series of workshops or 8 workshops in the first 6 months or 8 months. So I do 1 workshop per month. So it gives you time to create those workshops. In terms of the logistic, how you create it, I created the first webinar and I put it on Eventbrite. Then I just duplicate that event on Eventbrite. I change the image, title, and description, and I already have the second one. So in terms of putting them on Eventbrite, it doesn't take long as you're clear about the title and a few points, the learning points. I also put usually in the Eventbrite description if I have some testimonials and something about me to be more credible. So when you have one, it's kind of a template that you can duplicate for the next ones. And once you have them, yes, go ahead if you have a question.
No, you finish. I'll remember my question.
So once you have all those set up in Eventbrite, you can put the whole series on your website. You can create like what I did, the screenshot, and share it on social media so people know what's coming up. So you don't have to work too much for promoting it, because they will promote themselves. And you start saying, hey, I'm coming with a new workshop is coming up this Saturday. And by the way, this is part of the series, and you share the link to all the series. because on Eventbrite, you can share the page link for your company and they can see all upcoming webinars there. So each webinar will promote the others and your business. Yes.
I understand that. I love the idea. I'm trying to get an idea of how much time it takes you, and it's going to be different for each of us, but how much time it takes you to go from, here's a description of what I'd like to give, to creating the webinar that you're going to deliver. Like to do the hands-on, like you're giving us a fabulous presentation today with a mind map and all kinds of cool stuff. How long does it take you to pull together a webinar like that?
For me, this PowerPoint, the PowerPoint presentation takes the most of the time. So I give myself 2-3 days to do a presentation like this. The PowerPoint, the slides for a presentation like this. It might take longer or less. And it really depends. It took me so long because I didn't use Canva for this presentation. I had a previous presentation and I just updated with my colors and I didn't like a few things in how it showed up. So it took me longer to kind of adjust what I already have than start from scratch. So what I encourage you to do, kind of put your ideas on paper. You can create your mind maps on paper first. The content, even for the content itself, I created mind maps for how to deliver a workshop and the series in this presentation. But even for the workshop itself, I start with a mind map. So I want to do a workshop about connecting the dots. What do I want for my business and for participants to get out of this? What do I want for the content? So I want to talk about before, during, and after, but I want also to give them the bigger picture. I also want to give them a freebie. I want to do this. So I create a mind map for the content itself, forget about the administration part. And from that one, you'll start working into the PowerPoint if you want. I'm doing workshops and webinars when I have no PowerPoint. For that one, I just need to know kind of the topics that I want to cover and go in. For example, I have a workshop coming up webinar. On January 29, it's how to use LinkedIn for business, to grow your business. Then I'll go online. I'll give participants a few ideas about the LinkedIn features. Then I'll go online and share the features and the strategies they can use for the business. I don't need any PowerPoint for that. So for that one, I don't need to put time aside to prepare. So it really depends, like you're saying, about your content, products, services, what you want to deliver. I can do this presentation without a PowerPoint, but I feel that you get lost if I give you all kind of information like this without a visual. So I'm someone who likes visuals. So I include a lot of visuals in my presentations, less words. So it depends on you how you want to do it and how long it takes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
There was one comment question. What about when people are giving great feedback but not buying? What are the next steps?
What I noticed, if you continue doing this, at one point they might click because they might not be ready to buy right now. They might not be convinced they need it. There are so many reasons why they don't buy. But if you continue to do workshops or webinars like this, you can't kind of warm them up until they get to the point either they are really ready and they want to pay, or they want at least to try, or they share with someone else because they already notice that you have a lot of valuable content and products and services. So like marketing, you don't expect to find the first client that you approach to buy. You, in sales, they say you need a lot of no's before you get to a yes. But every no gets you closer to the yes. It's the same concept with webinars. More you do it, more you notice. For example, I sent my newsletter 2 days ago and I asked for feedback about the newsletter. And today I received feedback. Someone said, I'm reading all your newsletters, I'm following you on LinkedIn, everything that you're sharing, and it was tremendously helpful. So when you get feedback like this, you know you're doing something good and you're on something. That person at one point might buy either a coaching package or a small product, a few dollars just to start with. And with that product, I take him into kind of a journey and I have other products for them. So it's also what you do in the back end of the business. Because for several years, I just did workshops and webinars, and I became good at doing them, but I didn't have that back end where people, if they don't buy right now, they can go there and check what else I have there at their own pace, whenever they are ready. So I needed to build something. Right now, if I'm talking about, let's say, LinkedIn, I say, hey, I have a course upcoming. If you want to join this webinar, you get 50% of that course. And I've got people who already sign up for the waiting list just because I talked about something that's coming or about something that I already have. I'm talking about LinkedIn, for example, for networking. I can say, hey, I have an online course, Networking the Introverts Way. And I'm talking about LinkedIn there too. So I can connect what I'm doing in the business with the workshops, and in time, I build that following and trust that makes people buy. That's my approach. It might be kind of an introvert approach. I take it slowly, but I found that it's useful. I was sharing with someone that my opening rate for the newsletter is 40%. And she was like, whoa, that's a good opening rate. And that's why, because I keep sharing and sending people from one resource to another. Some resources are paid, some resources are free. I start doing LinkedIn Live and I invite people as guests, and people like those discussions as well. And those are free things that they can get. So don't think of it just, I have to do this like an extra. In my opinion, it fits well into how you manage all those hats that you have in your business. It's kind of a part of your business because it can help you financially, it can help you with operations, it can help you with marketing, with aligning the vision, and based on the feedback you get, you align the strategies and the tactics that you are using. Did I answer that question enough, Brenda? Because I just saw your question. When you use our, yeah.
Yeah, she said, yeah.
Thank you. When you use our website and not Eventbrite, but we do a monthly medicine healing concert, so can just slightly edit the same stuff from before. You choose whatever you want. I share that I'm using Eventbrite because I noticed that I get traffic from Eventbrite as well. If you have a website that has a lot of visibility and you already build an audience, of course you can use just your website. So it depends on the specifics of your own business, of where you are right now in your business. I started Introverts Academy just last year, in 2020, at the end of 2020. So I had to build this following for the Introverts Academy. I have following for my coaching business, but I didn't know if everyone wants to shift to the Introverts Academy. So I had to build the followings from scratch for Introverts Academy. So I'm using the platforms that are already there to leverage what already is out there and can help me. So you can do what Eventbrite is free for businesses if it's a free event, yes. So that series that I showed you, it was a free series and everything was free. Someone else asked a question. Someone talked about it's legally to ask permission to put them on the newsletter. I was talking about that if you do a in-person workshop and you have a sign-up table, I have a sign-up sheet, and I ask them, if you want to hear more from me, from our workshops and the webinars and about our products, please add your name, email address, and I put there a checkbox. They agree. If they don't agree, I don't put them in my newsletter list. And for sign up, there is a double sign up as well. So yes, you have to be aware of the legal aspect. Anything else you want to ask?
If anybody wants to unmute, they can unmute right now, if there's any other questions. Maybe not right now then.
Yeah. Okay, someone said found Eventbrite expensive when for a paid concert and the payout was super slow. Eventbrite, like any other social media platform, is just a platform. It's what we're doing with it. It's a strategy that we are using. I'm using Eventbrite as a way, instead of putting that sign up on my website, I'm putting the sign up on Eventbrite. But I promote the webinars. That's why I create a series so I can promote one after another. So don't expect just Eventbrite to bring you a lot of traffic unless you pay for advertising. They start adding advertising to Eventbrite as well. So you need to be mindful that you still need to do a lot of marketing yourself for what you're doing. And you can put it in the context. For example, you're doing a concert. In this concert, you can ask people to follow you on social media. And on social media, you will show up with those webinars, for example, or new concerts, new Q&A, ask me anything, whatever you want to choose for this interactive format, or at least showing up and connect with people. So it's up to you how you integrate that platform or whatever platform you use for the signups with the rest of activities that you're doing in your business. This is just another way that I wanted to show you, because I noticed many people don't use webinars or Q&A. At one point, I started Introverts from Inside Out Q&A. Just people to show up and ask me any question. It didn't go very well because it's kind of too broad. People ask me, do on more specific topics. For example, do a Q&A for introverted business owners, Q&A for career, Q&A for personal development. More specific you are, more people know what they can get out of it, and more you can promote to that specific niche.
So I have a question about those Q&A sessions that you have, and how did you let people know about the Q&A sessions that you were doing?
It was from the perspective of the logistics, it was exactly like a webinar. I put it on Eventbrite, I started promoting on social media. It's on my website. I have a page on my website with the different events, past events and upcoming events. So everything I'm doing, if I'm doing a live interview on LinkedIn, for example, with a guest, I might mention the website and that live Q&A that it's coming up. So I treat it as like a webinar. Everything I did here, it's applies to Q&As as well. I'm looking. Yeah, it gets you in front of new people. I started your own social media and email community. That's true. And what I also, when you start getting used to this and you start doing these live chats, like I'm doing on LinkedIn, you get exposure to their followers on top of your followers. So you might think of maybe instead of webinars, you can do just Q&A based on the products and the services you have. You might invite people who bring complementary strategies and tactics and information to what you're doing. So you can expand, but more focused, more selectively, your audience instead of just going out to everyone. So be more selective when you're doing this, because you notice there is a lot of work. So anything else? For example, I noticed someone at the beginning said we have an author in the audience. I noticed on social media, someone has a book. He just published his book a month ago. And I checked his book. It's complementary to my first book. So his book is about leadership for introverts. My first book, it's Introverts Leverage Your Strengths for an Effective Job Search. So these two books can go very well. They complement each other. So I reached out to him. Hey, would you like to do a joint promotion for our books? I might invite him to do a LinkedIn Live. So he has a lot of followers, like more followers than me on Instagram, and he's doing a lot of live videos, and he's on TikTok. He's doing more of those kind of things than I'm doing. For a long time, I didn't want to show up as a person, my face. I was just doing presentations with PowerPoint. You wouldn't see me, but he's totally okay being in front of people. So he already built a following. So I give him exposure to my followers. He gives me exposure to his followers. So we might get something out of it, both of us. So think about how you can leverage what is already out there, and you don't need to spend too much time on it. For example, I invited as a guest speaker someone who is helping introverts to build their businesses. And she has a Facebook group where she invites speakers every week in a series of kind of live presentation. And she invited me in February. I will do a presentation for her group. So that's a very targeted niche, introverted business owners, because I have products for the introverted business owners as well. So start thinking about how you can leverage this with public speaking, if you want to call it public speaking. I don't like to call it public speaking because for me, public speaking is like, what's the reason to speak in public? I'm more into sharing and helping others and increasing the visibility for what I have, because I'm not the type of person that goes in a room of, let's say, 50 people to just talk there. As an introvert, I'm not comfortable, so I don't project a good image when I'm in that kind of environment. But if I'm leading a workshop, if I'm leading a discussion, I'm totally comfortable. And by the way, if any of you is an introvert, we are good at one-on-one conversation. Maybe a small group of people we get along with, but also we are very good when we lead something, a group or a workshop or a presentation based on topics that we are really interested in, we're passionate about. And they can see that passion, and people connect with the passion besides whatever content you share. So try to find whatever works for you. So what I shared today is just a way to use workshops and presentations for your business. And I want to share also the mini course that I have as a bonus for you. If you go on the website, I will put the link, learn.introvertsacademy.org. I have a mini course, Jumping into the Void, for all those who take a leap of faith into something, career change or starting a business. And you can see how you can create something very simple. It's a chapter from one of my books, and I add a few coaching questions to help them self-reflect on their own journey and what they can do to improve based on what I share in that book. So I already had that content, and I created this. And the webinar I was talking about, it's on Eventbrite, introvertsacademy.eventbrite.ca on 29, if you're interested in to learn how to use LinkedIn for your business, how you can build your business using LinkedIn. And I won't talk about paid advertising. I will talk about things that you can do for free, how you can build visibility and trust, and all those things that I was sharing that you also need, how you can get those with LinkedIn. So that was my presentation for today. Lori and any of you, if you have anything else?
Yeah, is there any other questions that anybody has before we wrap up?
I just wanted to say thank you, Gabriela, because you made me think differently about some of the stuff I'm already doing and how to get the word out there. So I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Gabriela. I think
you.
Chantel said it right, and I think a lot of people feel the same way too, right? I mean, you've provided a lot of information, and it gets the ball rolling in that. So I just want to thank you so much for presenting today, and thank you for offering the extra course for them. And everybody, thank you for joining us today. I did put Gabriela's contact information in there, so if you wanted to check out our website and such. Anyways, thank you so much. Thank you again, everybody, for attending, and look forward to seeing everybody next webinar. Thanks.
I put a few links in the chat. The first one is for the PowerPoint presentation if you want to download it. No email required. Those are my links. And also if you want for the webinar and the mini course, you have the links there. Thank you,
Perfect.
everyone, and good luck with everything that you do.
Thank you. Bye,
You're
everyone.
welcome. Bye.